What you are looking at is a real decklist out of Japan that had won a gym challenge. Now, if you don't know what a gym challenge is, this is what would be the equivalent to a league challenge here in the U.S. So it's a little bit step above a normal local and a step behind a league cup. It's still quite impressive that deck with 57 unique cards won. And today I'm going to go ahead and take this deck onto the ladder and see if I can get any wins with it. We'll see how well. Alrighty, and getting started with the first game, and let me tell you, playing with 57 one-ofs is very, very frustrating. It's even more frustrating than in a format like GLC, for example, because in GLC, you have to build towards redundancy, and typically, you'll have multiple pieces that do similar things, right? But when I'm playing this deck, it's like, oh my goodness, there is so much going on and so much to keep track of. And sometimes you just don't even know what is going to happen to you. So I, am just trying to figure out how to play this deck. And also, let me tell you, all night, literally Charizard players. I only played against one other deck, and that was Archaludon, which I ended up losing to because I couldn't really do anything against them for a bit, and I got a startup. Which, one other thing, I definitely don't recommend this deck. I barely went 50-50 on the win rates of this deck. I went like 4-4. But it's funny. That's what matters. It's definitely content. And, the quality of my opponents is also a little bit questionable because you see my opponent dropping a Diancie, but who knows? Maybe that's just some, spicy tech we haven't caught on to yet. Regardless, I'm just go ahead and get started. And let me tell you, prize checking is, abysmal just because there's so much to keep track of. I definitely forgot, something every game. I'm pretty sure in this game the Bloodmoon is prized. But mainly, when I'm prize checking for this, I'm just checking to see, if my rare candy is in there, if my grand tree is in there, whatever fucking evolution line I have out in the active is there. I've also seen people try and play, these Charizard hybrid list with, Dragapult or Greninja, and, oh my goodness, just, even trying to set up, 2 guys is a lot. So really, I'm just, scrambling. I'm not even, trying to do the gameplay. It's well, if I set Greninja here in this matchup, I'll do well. No, I'm just literally going for whatever the best possible thing is. Here, I thinking about grabbing the Fez, because I know my Nest Ball onto the, or my TM Evolution onto the Frogadier isn't going to be that great. Or because it's in my hand, I was like, yeah, might as well set it up because, it's still one of the better Pokemon to be attacking with in this matchup. My opponent also raw evolves the Pidgeotto, so that's kind of funny. It does make me think that, Grand Tree would have been really good here, but, my opponent just retreats into Diancie here, so, I'll take it. I'll take as much set time as I want. Unfortunately, I wish I got, a little bit of a better setup, but you know what, most of this stuff is fine. I believe I'm just trying to slowly piece together my evolutions, because if I notice my rare candy is prized, or at least I think it was, I don't exactly recall, so I'm taking a very slow and methodical setup here. I at least get the Dragapult setup, which is fine, because I'm able to take down, I believe I can take down the Dusk Ball here, because he already has the Pidgeotto, so it's kind of easy to kill, and the Dusk Ball could possibly get him back in the prize race. But taking 2 prizes here is very solid, something that Dragapult does pretty well. And now I'm just up in a situation where if I evolve either my Greninja or, likely my Charizard, then I'll be able to fire off some attacks very quickly. The Dragapult isn't really doing too much here past this point. It's nice to have around, obviously, because it does a lot of damage. But otherwise, I'm just okay, I need to hit one of my other attackers soon, or at least get them set up and have Dragapult leave the follow-up ready. Other than that, there isn't too much special going on here. I believe the Charizard is gonna whack me. Orezu, I forgot. How could I forget about Orezu? As we're gonna evolve into the Charmeleon here. So good on their end, I suppose. And then here, I'm going to attach my DTE to the frog because it doesn't really go anywhere else, and Charizard will automatically attach to itself. So one of the better energies to start attaching. It's also the outside the course in your deck, you don't have any other ways of easily grabbing it besides the Pidgeot, but like there's so many one-ofs that you're like so strapped to doing so many other things. Thankfully him also putting down double Pidgey is like super good for me. And I'm just scrolling to see like how many energies are in the deck. And also I think I'm noticing the Charizard's prize, so I'm like, shit, what do I do next? This is like the tough part. I think I just end up grabbing this water energy right here just so like I can attack with the Greninja next turn. And you know, also getting the double knockout here is quite nice. I put 1 damage on the Pidgeot specifically because I believe if he ends up taking 3 prizes against me somehow, that means I'll be doing 270 damage to my own Charizard against the Pidgeot, which, you know, could be nice for giving me that last prize of the game. And I also get the Charizard off my prizes, which is also super stellar for me. And my opponent also Artazon's Charmander, which I'm not like entirely sure is like the correct play. But I guess it can't hurt, right? I feel like the guy you want to be getting out is like a Radzard, but beggars can't be choosers, I suppose. And I feel like one other thing I really learned this deck is just like how you can optimize certain things. So there's like a supporter for different context. I do think that there's some that are just like strictly worse than others. Also, I don't search my deck with the Fertile Rain just because I have the 2 fucking energies in my hand. It's like, oops. Anyways, I'm using TBL's Cheer to go ahead and get back the boss's orders and the Dreepy, or not the Dreepy, the Turo. It's kind of funny talking about that too, because normally you would just go for, what's it called? Normally you just run a Palpad, but actually the TBL's Cheer serves a double purpose because it can actually shuffle Pokemon back in too if you completely forgot about that, which does mean that it can allow you to like put in a supporter and then 2 of your evolutions and not the basic, and this will allow you to later like you can either Night Stretcher it out or you can use Thornton to put it back in and a Grand Tree and evolve it up fully. So it's a little bit of a genius decision to have that instead of the Palpad. And like I said, all your supporters are one of, so like if you've used the supporter already, like it's probably gone. You're not gonna like find Palpad and be able to search it out typically. Anyways, last turn I go ahead and do the 120 damage, knocking out the Charmander and putting 100 on this Charizard, so Ursaluna can just come in and win. And that was just like a crazy fucking game there that happened between everything that had taken place. I was like utterly astounded with the way that played out. Anyways, I'm going to spoil it for you, but like I said, we're running into another Charizard here with the Froakie start. So the Froakie seems to be like the MVP, which is good because I think Greninja is actually like a super great card. Doing 170 damage and being able to search out any card is super good. Let alone, it's like perfect in this deck because I need so much at all times. I'm like scrambling to get anything set up. I thought about for a second, it's like, should I like try to optimize this deck and take out some cards I don't think are that great? But that like kind of ruined the point of it, right? I just wanted to play the list raw and get like the experience of whatever the hell this Japanese dude is doing. And honestly, it's like just so... It's really amusing to imagine how this deck would have played out in person and just watching people's reactions as you like drop Pidgey, Charmander, Dreepy, and Froakie all at the same time. You know, I can imagine my opponent have like the same jump scare too. It's like, what the fuck is he playing? I think one thing that I didn't get to use that's like kind of a cool thought is you actually have multiple ways of attaching to the Greninja. And the Mirage Barrage is really strong, as we've seen in a lot of these games, just being able to take out multiple Pokemon and stop them from playing the game. And I think that's like a super underrated aspect of maybe this like type of deck, is that with the Crispin, the Double Turbo, and the Charizard, you have so many ways of just like attaching the energies. Thankfully for me, I also hit like the Colress here, which is the Nuts. I think he ioted it out of my hand actually, so I had to use the Lumineon to get it, which is perfectly fine by me. I'm able to knock away his whole setup because he just like has zero respect for me, I guess. I don't know. Also, there's like a Mawile in this deck too. It almost won me a game earlier tonight, but my opponent unfortunately had like one more switching option. It's like, damn, no Tempting Trap, which is funny. Because there's so many matches where it's like, damn, I'm so far behind because my setup is so trash. I can see why the Mawile's in the deck, because it's just like this, one-time like solution to some matchup. So your opponent has no clue what's happening, and they're burning all their switches and prime catchers or whatever, and then you just fucking tempting trap them because they have no clue what's coming out of your deck. It's also searchable off the Artazon too, which I've noticed a lot of people don't bump, mostly because I don't think there's like a lot of stadiums out right now besides like some jamming towers, and that's like mostly it. That's all I've seen is like jamming towers maybe collapsed, and like I can't even think of another stadium at the moment. Oh, Area Zero, I guess, and Pokestop. So there's a few, but in some matchups like where they aren't using the Area Zero, like the Artazon's perfectly fine for them. They have no reason to want to remove it. Also, the Grand Tree is such a funny stadium. I feel like it's the only stadium that like also gives your opponent like the crazy fun brokenness too, which can be really enjoyable in card games. Like for example, like in Hearthstone, you have so much like random generation, random shit going on in that game. So sometimes it's just like amusing to not know what the fuck is happening. Like your opponent gets random cards from some event, or you just have some absurdity happening on your side, and everyone gets to like play along. I feel like Grand Tree is a little bit of that, in a sense, because you don't really get the same like, I guess like you don't get that same like effect of randomness that you get in Hearthstone. You do get situations where like people do dump things, but typically that's like a one-sided event, or you're both breaking, which can also be equally hilarious. But like having both players have their decks with like Grand Tree is just like insane brokenness. It almost feels like an off format. Here I'm also deciding whether or not I want to like Grand Tree my Dragapult all the way, and my only thing that like stops me from like not doing it, so I get that Drakloak extra draw one, is just because he has a Dusclops there. I don't want him like popping my Dreepy just in case it becomes relevant. I also could have like maybe used the Turo this turn, but I was like, it's probably fine. I'm just gonna go ahead and evolve the Charmander up normally like that, and just grab an energy from my deck. Swag out the TM Devo, because why not? I think, actually, no. I was like, is this the game where like Devo everything and just like hold off and not do anything? But I believe I did that and I lost that game. I don't exactly recall. It could be. Anyways, we take out the Radzard. Normally, I'd be like kind of pissy that I have to take out the Radzard. I was gonna try to see if I could like get a boss or something else set up, but because he's having the Dusknoir here, it's like, okay, well, the Dusknoir is probably gonna pop itself somewhere. So taking out the Radzard is perfectly fine because it sets my prize mapping back to 2/2/2 as opposed to like 2/1 2/2, which is very annoying for me in the Zard matchup, where I can boost its damage up to numbers where I can just one-shot anybody on my field, and then like an Iona could screw me over, so just a whole mess. I'm very glad that he just decided to use the sword instead. He kind of had to as well. I mean, I don't think you had to. You could have just like bossed something else up or whatever, but it's still like super sketchy. But now that he's done that, all I have to do is boss up one of the two risers in the back with less HP and win the game that way. So he's gonna do 300. I was kind of expecting an Iona. I was like, if he Ionas me, I'd probably lose the game. So I go ahead, just evolve my Charizard, get the energies on it, the good stuff. And I don't even have to do anything to get the boss because I just grabbed it last turn. We kill the Fez because I hate the stupid fucking bird, and we take our 2 prizes. And I got like one last game for you. This one kind of drags on. It's like not that great. But I was just like, I just need content. I just need to put something out there. And so that's where I am with this. I'm kind of sad that like I didn't get to use the Noivern at all. I was hoping to hit like a Raging Bolt where I just hit Noivern and I just like want to win the matchup, which I can see is like one of the ways the opponent, or not the opponent, the one Japanese person just like won their gym challenges. Like they just queued the like double Raging Bolt, they kill him, and then they get like one matchup where their deck actually functions against everything else. But it is like, it's still so amusing how goofy this whole deck is. I definitely like would not recommend anybody to play this, at least without like changing the cards. Like you can still stick to Highlander requirement, but there's some things I would definitely run. Like, low-key, I think a Rezu would be kind of sick in this deck, because it just grabs you 3 evolutions, so you can go ahead and grab, like, all your middle stages without having to use the Arvin. I think it's especially better if you go first, and you hit the Rezu afterwards, because when you go second, you want to, like, T and Evo and do all that. Sometimes it's, like, sketchy, because, like, oh, you don't want to risk one of your energy attachments, so you kind of have, like, just barely enough energy, plus, like, 1 extra Psychic in the deck, to, like, make everything work. But I feel like an Rezu would actually help the deck a lot because it gives you a bunch of search, and then all you need after that is like an Ultra Ball or just like any of the evolutions get going. I see my Pidgeotto as prize, which kind of sucks. I think my Pidgeot was also prize in this game, so it's just like another one of those like goofy situations. I go ahead and just grab the Rotom because I don't trust myself, and the Great Ball also shows me like the whole Greninja line, which is, you know, also just a little bit amusing. I grab the Psychic Energy. And there's actually a really strong reason for that. And 1, because the Charizard can search out energies on its own. And 2, because it's like the extra spare energy. So, if you're imagining attacking with everything in the deck, you have a Dragapult, which needs a fire and a Psychic. A Charizard needs 2 fires, and then Greninja needs 1 water energy, and then the double turbo is kind of on reserve. You have a Luminous energy, which can patch some things up, and sometimes it's nice for like Noivern to attach with the second attack. I forget what it like does specifically, but I think it's also from attaching special energy, which can be like annoying into control, I guess. I'm not quite sure, but like it's an option, right? Yeah, the second Psychic is like good because you don't want to prize your Psychic energy and just have Dragapult online, but it's also definitely like the spare energy. Also, I don't know if you guys noticed last term, I used Morty's Conviction for 1, and that's mostly just because I didn't want to burn my Lumineon yet. I just wanted to like, okay, well, I could get a little bit further without it. So, you know, I go ahead and do that. I have to grab the water energy off of this, so that's fine. I also burn the Psychic energy, which sucks a little bit, like, you know, it concerns me a little bit, but it's fine. My opponent's got like barely anything going on, and they're going to need like a pretty nasty top deck, I think, to get themselves out of this situation. And my setup also like isn't that great. I hit the Bunny PAF in here, which will give me like Charmander and Pidgey, even if my Pidgeot won't be online for most of the match, if at all. But, you know, Greninja is swinging every turn, being able to search me out for a card is extremely nice, and my opponent just won't have very many options, like, at all, to do anything with it. I'm also going to probably keep the Drakloak up as a Drakloak for as long as possible, because I don't have, like, anything else going on here. And all the other Pokemon in my deck aren't going to do anything currently, right? Like, a Fez would be nice, but they have to kill something in order to get things going. And honestly, like, Fez is like the low-key MVP in the deck. I always like grab it here just in case. It's like, yeah, just grab the evolutions for later. I'll go ahead and attach the fire to the Drakloak, because the Dragapult will probably, you know, frustrate them to some end. It kind of sucks that, like, he's playing Big Zard, and he wants damage on his guys, but, like, he probably runs a Magma Base set anyways, or some other ways of manipulating damage on it, so it's like, whatever, right? And also, like, who cares? I'm just trying my best to win here. This whole deck is just a scramble. Like, you don't have a game plan, you're just making it up on the fly. Like I said, you're just playing for literally whatever the fuck you have available to you. He's actually going to get some things going here, which is not that bad, but he put down a 6 HP Charmander. Is like, ooh, free stuff. And also, he put down Bidoof. I don't exactly recall what I do this turn, but, you know, I'm just drawing some cards. I go for a Drayton. I don't exactly remember why. I think it's because I really wanted to search for, like, some evolutions. Like, I really wanted to get the Charizard or the Dragapult in my hand. So I figured, I should probably do that. Originally, I kind of wanted to boss the Bidoof and Mirage Barrage both, but I figured if I'm losing my Greninja, if I'm losing my Greninja soon, I'd rather just, like, kill the thing, the active, and force him that struggle to set up afterwards, right? I suppose you could rare candy that Dark Charizard EX as opposed to Fire type here, and, you know, rock my shit, but His setup is not that great. There's also 2 Arcanines, like, the more places get some garbage pile here. But I will say, if you guys didn't last this long into the video, just listening to, like, rant and bullshit my way through these matches, you're a real one. Thanks, I appreciate it. I've really gotten a different type of appreciation for, like, doing different type of content and just like see what success, like what pulls off. I think the Blancha video kind of opened my eyes just a little bit because like, oh, that's the type of content people like. I know that's what people like because it's the type of stuff I watch. You know, it's clickbait, right? You didn't get the video you're probably hoping to see. You're probably hoping to see like a rare and style video where it's like, I got the best Blancha player in the world to teach me how to play Blancha, and then I never want, you know, shit like that. Just like clickbait all you guys. But I really appreciate you guys sitting through all my clickbait bullshit because it's so funny at the end of the day, right? Like, whatever the fuck is happening here is some good shit. I finally have decided to evolve my Dragapult up, mostly because, like, well, I don't really need to draw much anymore, and I'd rather not, like, get Iona to lose everything at this point. I also just boss up the... Oh, ignore that. That's me taking a picture of the fucking board state for shits and giggles. And now, we should be pretty much in the clear, right? Like, his Razor can kill my Greninja, which, oh no, that sucks. But I have a fucking Dragapult and a Charizard loaded up. I think the only thing that make this screenshot funnier is if I had, like, Mawile in the field, and then I had Pidgeot fully evolved. Like, that would have been some, like, hot, like, peak garbage screenshot. Like, type shit you bait your friends with. But yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and stop doing the commentary now and just let the rest of this game roll out. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching, especially if you made it all the way to the end. If you didn't like, subscribe, do all this bullshit, you know, give me any more recommendations or challenges or whatever, and I'll consider it. I read every comment for sure. And yeah, thank you guys very much. I'll see you guys later.